Okay, so step one of nailing Coventry Carol level 3 is getting the chord shapes down. Once you have the shapes down, let's see, I'm going to get rid of them. There we go. Once you have the shapes down, the next thing to do is kind of identify the melody. Now you can do that just by listening to it, or you can go back to Coventry Carol level 2 because the melody's more pronounced there. Or you can just listen to it and kind of follow along. So yeah, it's going to be bum 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 bum. Okay. You can look at where those notes live here. Basically, anything that moves is going to be a melody, and anything that stays in the same place, like these 202s here, stuff like that, that's going to be something that's more of a harmony. Okay. And the way that I would approach this is kind of the same as we've asked you to do other pieces. You've got the chord shapes down. So now I want you to approach it, hold the chord shape in place, but don't try to play all the notes. Just play the ones that are good for your melody, okay? So kind of leave any of those static notes out, the ones that don't change, okay? Kind of, we're not going to pay attention to those guys. Okay, and if you do that, you should be able to feel a little bit more comfortable about how you approach this one, okay? So now what you're doing is you're not doing like a full-on finger picking pattern. What you're doing is okay, something more like that, where you're only hitting the bass note with your thumb and you're catching the melody note either with your middle finger or your pointer finger and getting that one situated. Do it slow. If you can't do all of the notes, that's fine. Do half of the notes, but be smart about the notes that you pick. I wouldn't say like, okay, I'm just going to do the first half of this measure. No. That's not going to be beneficial to you. Instead, try to catch, oops, I can't erase that, duh. Try to catch only the quarter notes. Okay, if you're having a hard time identifying the melody, play every other note like this, okay? And you can see that finger picking pattern through the whole song, okay? And so if you play the first one of every one of those eighth notes, it's going to be much, much easier for you to nail down, okay? So that's the second thing that I would do. Identify the melody and play just the melody with the bass line. And if you're feeling comfortable with that, then play basically every other eighth note on there, and you can see how those shake out. So here's the way that I would play like a simplified version of this. You're looking at something like this. Let's do it right, Mr. Anderson. Okay, something like that. You can see that I'm totally avoiding hitting any of the notes on the G string. Okay, and if it helps, I have printing turned on for everything. So if it helps, you can even print this thing out and then go through like with a Sharpie or something and just wipe out all those notes on the third string. Okay, I know that maybe this works for you, maybe it doesn't, but it really works for me. It makes my life a lot easier. Let me get rid of that one too. Because I'm able to focus on just the thing that I'm looking at and not a bunch of extraneous stuff, okay? So one more time, playing the melody as you see it now, like this. 2, 3. Okay? Something like that. Don't be in a hurry to finish the piece, okay? Take it slowly. Do bits and pieces, but the types of bits and pieces that you do are really, really going to help you out. Start with doing that. Measures 1 through 8. Do the same thing with measures 9 through 16. If you need additional help identifying the melody and playing it, you can always take a look at Coventry Carol level 2, which is just a bass line and a melody played with your fingers, okay? Cool. That's second thing.